today we're gonna be looking at this story. It says, my mom hasn't spoke to me for a year because let's find out what. Let's get started.
Hello guys, I'm Sam. I don't feel that great about the story I'm going to tell you right now. Or rather about the way events took a turn after I did what I did. It happened about a year ago when I was 13, and I probably should have made a different decision. Anyway, this is how it happened. I began to feel like my mum no longer saw me as her little boy after my twin baby sisters were born. She began expecting a bunch of help from me, starting with babysitting and assisting her with housework. I mean, it's normal to help your parents, but my mum actually didn't let me do the stuff I used to do, or was supposed to do at my age, like playing video games or hanging out with my friends. She kept saying that I was a future grown-up man, and that I had to start being supportive right now. Luckily, my dad thought the other way around. He would help with the work that mum gave to me, and always tried to spend some extra time with me, asking me how I was doing. And he would say that mum was simply tired with 2 babies at one time, and promised that soon things would change. Things did change, actually, when Mum took me and my sisters to her parents' house, in a town next to the city, on summer vacation. I'd almost never spent any time with my grandparents, so I was happy to be able to go and see them. Grandpa would take me on fishing trips. He was an awesome fisherman, while Granny would help Mum with the babies. After a couple of days there, Mum had almost gone back to being like she was before the twins were born. She was more friendly and nice, and no longer forbid me to spend my time however I wanted to spend it. Everything was almost perfect, except one thing. Dad didn't come. I would wait for him every night, but Mum said that he had some work stuff to do. One day, I felt like she was starting to treat me like an adult again. She distanced herself from me emotionally and looked nervous. I was wondering what happened, but nobody actually explained anything to me. Then one day, I just so happened to overhear when Mum was talking to Dad on the phone, saying she wasn't coming back, and that all 3 of her children were going to stay with her. She put the phone down and saw me staring at her with my eyes full of tears. She knew that this was one time when she wasn't going to be able to escape the conversation. I couldn't believe Mum had done this to me and our family. I was mad at her because she decided to take me away from my dad without even asking what I thought about all of this. She didn't even let the 2 of us say goodbye. I was mad at my little sisters because if it wasn't for them, Mum wouldn't have become so nervous and tired, and her family would be okay. I was even mad at myself for being so stupid and not calling my dad on my own, asking whether he was going to come to be with us. How was I supposed to start my life over here, without my school that I'd gotten used to, without my friends, without virtually anything I had back there at home? I don't know why people say the sad truth is better than a happy lie. My life was about to crash down all around me. Living there after our talk turned out to be torture. Mum kept insisting on my help, but this had become really annoying, so I refused to do anything. Unintentionally, I'd become rude with her, and every interaction ended up in a terrible fight. But I couldn't help it. I was a lost cause. I remember how once I told her that no matter how hard her own life was, she was the one to be blamed for the divorce. This made her cry. And all this time she wouldn't let me call my dad.
Never do that to your mom, kids.
So I finally just grabbed the phone, dialed his number, and told him how unbearable Mum was. As always, he tried to calm me down and support me, saying that he loved me and missed me, and that he wanted to be there next to me to give me a hug. And this forced me to make a tough decision. At night, when everybody in the house had fallen asleep, I packed my belongings, went downstairs, called my dad, and asked him to pick me up at the bus stop nearby.
Are you serious? Kids never do that, because you might end up getting kidnapped. Dang.
At first he tried to convince me to wait until morning, when he could come and discuss everything with me and my mum. But I said that I was literally about to leave the house, so he'd better hurry up. I waited for him for about an hour.
Hurry up.
I can only imagine
That's not proper
now
grammar,
how lucky I was
dude.
that nothing bad happened to me while I was sitting there, all alone with a heavy heart, thinking that I might have made a mistake. But when I saw Dad, worried but happy that he finally saw me, my trouble seemed to disappear. The only thing I left for my mum was a text saying that I wanted to live with my father. Anyway, this information seemed to be more than enough compared to what I knew when she brought me here a few weeks ago. I didn't want to make her suffer. I just wanted to show her how painful her decision was to me. By now, you've probably figured out that my parents' divorce turned into a catastrophe for the family. It's been almost a year since this incident happened, and I still haven't talked to my mum. I tried to call her a couple of times, but she never picks up the phone. I get all the news from my grandpa. I send Mum texts when something happens in my life to let her know I'm okay. She reads them, but never writes back. I guess it's now her time to be mad at me. I'm living with my dad in our old house, going to my old school, seeing my old friends. Then she's still there with my sister and grandparents, only an hour away by car. I still haven't been able to understand her behavior. But I hope that one day when the phone rings and I pick it up, I'll hear my mother's voice at the other end. Give a like to my story and tell me what you would have done in my...
I would never leave my mom just to go live with my dad. What? You got two parents, but you can live with one and still like hang out with your father, or you could live with one and still hang out with your mother, but you're just making this situation difficult. So that's it for today. I hope you like my new intro. Bye, TWs.
place in the comments.
Oh, snap. Bye.